to soccerparenting.com. I'm joined by Sam Snow, the Technical Director for USU Soccer. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott.
Sam, parents are told over and over again to not coach from the sidelines. And on most cases, we get that, and we understand maybe our kids don't want to hear what we're saying and they get upset. But can you give us some perspective, a really good explanation from a coach's perspective on why coaches don't want parents talking other than cheering for their child from the sidelines?
When from the coach definitely has, particularly a coach of high-performance players, they have a game plan. They have particular assignments that they've given to the players as a team, as well as perhaps as individuals, and they definitely don't need the moms and dads, any of the spectators on the side, trying to give coaching information that ends up being contrary to what the coach has instructed the team to do and the individual players to do. The coach probably needs to sometimes get together with the moms and dads and say, hey, we've been working on this in training, and look for their attempts to do these particular things and cheer for their attempts to do it, and bring the parents into the loop a little bit, because I find sometimes it's occurring of parents doing some coaching from the touchline because they don't know what else is going on with the team. The coach hasn't really informed them. But the coach needs to regularly remind them, too, of give positive reinforcement to all of the kids, not just your child, but don't coach them. One, we have a game plan that they are trying to execute that I, as the coach, have gone over with the team. Two, when they're on the field, the people that they should be listening to, must be listening to the most, are their teammates. They cannot hear their teammates as well, and the effective communication within the team, if that's being interfered with moms and dads on the side. Now, when the players get a little bit older, and the parent of any teenager knows that they're pretty good at tuning you out. So the teenage players, perhaps it's occasionally a little bit less of a problem in terms of their on-the-field performance because they tune the crowd out anyway. And they hopefully are just getting on with it and listening to their teammates and focusing on what's happening right on the field. But even there, it still can be a distraction to the kids. The younger the players are, the harder it is for the kids to not tune in on mom's voice, dad's voice, whoever it is, from the side. And of course, the younger they are, the less their attention capacity is in the first place, the harder it is for them to multitask. And so they have no choice as a young child but to either focus on the game or listen to the parents on the side. They can't do both. And so we adults have to decide, do we want them to actually play the game or just stand out in the middle of the field and listen to us? And that's whether it's the parents yelling too much or the coach yelling too much at players, because there's coaches that are guilty of over-coaching during a match. And I think that now brings us to a really important piece here, and that is a lot of moms and dads think that the coach isn't coaching during a match if the coach isn't yelling all the time at the players and telling the players what to do. And a coach that does that actually is hindering the development of a high-performance soccer player. Because if I'm a high-performance player, I have to be thinking one or two moves ahead of what's actually happening in the game. I can't just be reacting to the calls from the coach. That's always too late because it's always after the fact. So when you see players that are dependent upon the calls from the touchline, whether it's from the coach or from the spectators, the parents, that player is a reaction player. That player is not an anticipation player. If you are not an anticipation player, you'll never work your way up high-performance levels of soccer because you'll always be catching up to the game. You'll always be one step behind what's going on in the match. So the calls from the touchlines actually hinder the development of high-performance players. They must be able to one, think for themselves and be trying to anticipate what's going to happen next in the match. And two, they must be able to hear their teammates and what's going on around them out on the field.
I think that's a great point, that just because the coach isn't actively, loudly, regularly talking from the sideline doesn't mean that the parent needs to. Because I do sense that a lot. And in my daughter's team, her coach has been trying to have them do very quick restarts. Don't think about it, put the ball down, let's just get the ball back in play. And the other week from the sideline, one of the parents of the girls who's often taking the restarts was saying, stop, slow down, make a decision, don't rush this. And I could just sense the stress that was going on with the child, because the parent's saying one thing and the coach is saying the other, and that's always a challenging situation.
Well, for sure that the child has a strong emotional bond with his or her parents, and they quite naturally are going to, that voice, they're going to be able to hear it above all the rest of the adult voices around the field. And if the information is in conflict with the coach, now you put the kid between the rock and the hard place of conflicting between their parents and their coach, and that doesn't help the player to develop at all.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that great explanation of why parents should not coach from the sidelines. There's more of this interview on soccerparenting.com at the interview section. Check it out.